And the fitna that Allah will test my ummah with is money. Every ummah is tested with one fitna. Hadith is in Sunan al-Tirmidhi. The fitna that Allah will test my ummah with is money. That one day money came from Bahrain. So he prayed Fajr and he saw the masjid packed like it was Jum'ah. And he said, "It looks like you have heard that the money has arrived." They said, "Yes." He said, "I give you glad tidings. Don't worry. You will get your money." Hadith in Sahih Bukhari. "But wallahi, I am not worried that you will be poor after I die. I am worried that this world will open its treasures to you and you will compete with one another to see who has the most treasure. And in that competing, you will destroy yourselves like the nations before you destroyed themselves." When many Sahaba did not even have 2 pieces of cloth, when in the Madani phase, he himself, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, as Aisha says, never ate to his full twice. When 6 weeks would go by and they didn't light a fire because they didn't have meat to cook. 6 weeks would go by without a fire. In that phase, the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam predicted, my ummah will be a rich ummah. And we have wealth. Even the lands that are deemed to be poor, their natural resources are of the most wealthy. Even, for example, Afghanistan that has a low GDP, the natural resources in terms of minerals, in terms of what it has, the world is salivating over it because of what it has. So the Muslim ummah is blessed with wealth. Mismanagement and greed is what has destroyed it. But we are a wealthy nation overall. He also predicted that evils would spread. And this is many things. For example, he predicted that people will stop trusting one another. The loss of amana, trust. He said, when people stop trusting one another, wait for Judgment Day, it's around the corner. He also predicted the rise of corrupt and evil rulers. When people who are not worthy become leaders, he said, wait for Judgment Day. The worst become the leaders, wait for Judgment Day. He predicted that the ummah would fight at a time when no 2 Muslims had ever drawn swords against one another. Imagine that. Never in the seerah did 2 Muslims draw blood as a civil war in the time of the Prophet ﷺ. In one occasion they came close to a fist fight, but it never went beyond that. Never went beyond that. And even that fist fight, if you read the seerah, the munafiqun were the ones that were instigating it, and not even there. And the Prophet ﷺ predicted that the ummah would continually fight amongst itself until Judgment Day. Once the sword is unsheathed, he said, it will never be put back in, and the ummah will constantly fight until Judgment Day. He also predicted that not only the ummah, but overall killing and bloodshed and wars would be increased. And he predicted that people would kill one another for no reason whatsoever. Our Prophet ﷺ predicted that intercourse outside of marriage would become the norm. Zina would become the norm. Now, again, we are born in a time and a place where it is the norm. So we kind of think that has been the case always. No. Even in Jahiliyyah, even in pre-Islam, families with dignity, with respect, did not engage in premarital, much less extramarital. And our Prophet ﷺ predicted what? He predicted intisharu zina. Zina would be everywhere. And he also predicted that nudity would be everywhere. Fahisha would be everywhere. He mentioned that towards the end of times, there will be a lot of women who, they are clothed and yet they are naked. Kasiyatun ariyat. Hadith is in Bukhari. In other words, they're not dressed properly. And ma'ilatun mumilat. They will love to entice others, and others will love to be enticed by them. In other words, what this means, flirtation is open. This is now open without even haya. Haya itself has gone. And this is explicitly predicted by the Prophet ﷺ, that of the last things to be gone from mankind will be haya. When haya is gone, wait for Judgment Day. And we see this as well.